Um, so I'm here today with another live video. I don't want to be on here long, because I really just feel like it's like fighting an uphill battle. It's like fighting against things that, this is already foretold. These things are going to happen. We can't stop them from happening. Um, but I just want to take some time to put out my intentions into the universe because I've been through so much in my life, so many storms, so many ups and downs, so many trials. And I know what it's like to be on the bottom, to feel like everybody is against you, to feel like you've lost favor in everybody's eyes, and to feel alone. And so I want to just offer my prayers to Will and Jada right now. What they have set out to do um, is uplift people, and that it doesn't always make sense to people who not used to nothing. It doesn't always make sense to people who are used to secrets, who are used to um, not of dealing with harm, like um, molestation and all these different family issues, dealing with all of that, trying to heal that so that we could evolve. And so Will and Jada look crazy to people because their life has not had a blueprint. It has not had a script. Um, I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything that's going on in their world. I don't know if maybe some people who are higher up said to Will, hey, there's a lot going on in the world right now. And we've done a lot of things in your life. We've blessed you with a lot of favor. So we need you to do us a favor right now. And we need you to take one for the team. So I don't know if that is what this is. I don't know if he's been asked by some people in the shadows who hold power to sacrifice his career to distract the masses. I don't know. I won't push that out, but I just want to pray for their family because they have honestly tried to uplift us, and it looks crazy to a lot of people, but they tried to uplift us. Will has worked for the industry for 30 years nonstop without taking a break. And the first time he makes a big mistake, I mean, like so many people, it shows you how flaky people loyalty is. It shows you. See, when a person love you, that's why when you take them vows, they say for better or for worse, sickness and in health and death do us part. So when you love somebody, when you loyal to them, that's supposed to be whether things are good or bad. It's supposed to be some space to allow that person to heal or to work through whatever it is that they're going through. I know this. I know right now Will is probably panicking because he's a perfectionist and he did something. He let his emotions get the best of him and he reacted at the Oscars, but he was being used. And Denzel said, when you're at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes for you. But the devil is necessary too. The devil is not irrelevant. The devil is necessary too. Sometimes the devil got to do what the devil got to do because when we fall or when we make that huge mistake or when we misstep or when we error, that's an opportunity for us to learn. That's an opportunity for us to problem solve. I'm hearing so many people who look like me talking about Will need to be blackballed. He need to be taught a lesson. Just tap dancing, just cooning. Now, I think that a blackball may do him some good for different reasons. Because it did wonders for Monique. Monique may never admit it, but that black ball did wonders for her. She changed her diet. She grew more spiritually. She created a better bond and a better relationship with her family. She tightened the reins in those relationships, and she was able to fortify those bonds when they shaded her. Sometimes you gotta be broken all the way down in order for things to come back together right. I think 50 Cent starred in a movie when things fall apart, when it all falls apart, or whatever the name of that movie was. But sometimes things have to completely fall apart. Sometimes everything has to be taken from you in order for you to realize what's most important for you, what you want to prioritize. So I'm praying for the family right now. People have said things about Jada, how Jada cheated on, him. They cheated on each other. All of that, was she worthy of being defended? That's not a conversation that we should be having, because we don't live in their house. We don't know what they supported each other through. We only know what they show to us. People who are having a conversation about, was Jada worthy of being defended, your brain, it shows how big your brain is and how your range for thinking is, how limited it is. If you are questioning whether the woman who he spent all these years with was worthy of defending or protecting. He chose Jada over Oscar. He chose his wife and the mother of his children and his life partner over Oscar. And I'm starting to wonder if a lot of you are offended because he basically slapped patriarchy in the face. He starred in that TV show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and his life was messed up. His character's life was messed up because the father was absent from his life. And in real life, it's quite the opposite. It took a man who beat his mother and treated her like cattle in order to forge a Will Smith. Will Smith had to grow up in a home where his father was putting his hands on his mother, and that's what it took to forge a Will Smith. Meanwhile, for ratings and views and to launch his career, he's been a part of pushing forth this narrative of how necessary the father is in the home. Will is being used as an instrument to bring to the forefront a conversation about what it's really been like having a father in the home. Because in some cases, a father is more like an overseer, and not just any overseer, but that overseer from the plantation, Sugar Hill, the one Samuel L. Jackson played. Some fathers, not all fathers, but some fathers have been very much like Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django. A lot of these men are messed up because instead of having a loving, caring, and compassionate male figure in the home, what they got was an overseer. Someone to help with the further colonization of Indigenous, African, and other people, people who were not in mind when this great nation was forged. So the bigger picture is that Will and Jada's example is bringing to the forefront a conversation that could not have ever happened if it weren't for them being in the way that they are. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't pick the parts of people that you want to deal with. I'm thankful for Will and Jada's narrative. I've heard Jada called tyrannical, but I bet you Will ain't putting them paws on Jada like his father did his mother. Jada is a force to be reckoned with. I didn't see Jada play the victim at the Oscars. People said she played the victim and he ran up on stage because she played the victim. Jada rolled her eyes and sit there like a queen. For all we know, Jada was just as shocked as everybody else was when he went up there and slapped that man, because that's not his character to do something like that in a public place. She could have been just as shocked as everybody else was. And if Jada is not one thing, she's disciplined and she's strategic. She's not just gonna haul off willy-nilly and say anything or be on. She carries herself like a queen. That's why y'all can't take her. Because she knows who she is and she walks in that sovereignty. Y'all hate that. Y'all hate to see that. Y'all done call this woman everything under the sun because she's not afraid to wear a bald head. She's not afraid to speak out. She's not afraid to be who she is. She's not afraid to raise her children differently. Y'all can't stand that. She's what America hates the most. A powerful woman with some melanin. Y'all hate her. And I get it. I understand why. She's what y'all hate the most. And y'all want her to be on social media screaming and hollering and whining and pleading for y'all to forgive him when in the back of her mind, she don't feel like he did anything wrong. Sometimes people get slapped. And y'all trying to make it look like what he did was, oh, Will wouldn't have did that to nobody else. Of course he wouldn't have. Oh, he wouldn't have did that to 50 Cent. 50 Cent would not have played with Will Smith like that. Like it's certain people, like there was a history of disrespect, whether it was for play or whether it was for real. This was not the first time that Chris Rock had played in their face. This was not the first time then he went off script and said a joke that was not even scripted. I don't care how small it was still disrespectful. And while I think that Will overreacted, I'm not here to throw him away because he made a bad choice. This is the time to be checking on him. This man worked forever for an Oscar. It took him forever to get it. And on his night that he thought was going to be so beautiful, somebody cracking jokes about his wife. Nobody is getting that because y'all have not put in the work that this man put in. That meant something to him. The reason why they boycotted the Oscars the last time is because Jada felt like he got played. She swallowed her pride and came and sit beside him on that night because she understood that was important to him. And when she did, she got disrespected for trying to be there and support him. For trying to hold her head up like a queen and support him. And the same man who was making jokes about them the last time they didn't show up was the same one that did it this time. On stage. He could have walked up to Jada and Will, talk to them personally first and say, look, I got a little joke I want to say. I hope it's okay with you. Like, people making excuses, and when I hear people making excuses for our oppressor, when I hear people making excuses for our colonizer, it saddens me. Y'all don't want people to be whole. Y'all want people to dissect themselves and put them on a front in front of society. Then y'all gonna be in y'all feelings when we get replaced by robots. You gonna get in your feelings when the robots replace us. You gonna be in your feelings. You gonna be right in your feelings, honey. Because guess what? You go to acting so much like you don't have no feelings and so much like you don't feel nothing. Then guess what? What they need you to be, what they need humans anymore for? What do we need humans anymore for if we're not going to have any emotions? If we're not going to feel anything? Huh? Do we need humans if we're not going to be human? If we're not going to be human, if we're not going to have human moments, why not just replace us all with artificial intelligence? Since y'all are so set on pretending like you don't have any emotions and you don't want people to feel nothing. Then I hear people say stuff like, oh, it was a black man, he emasculated a black man. I was so shocked that Rihanna partner Rocky ASAP said Will emasculated a black man in front of the world. They saying the same thing about you, Rocky. They saying your woman make more than you. They saying you emasculated because your woman make more money than you. Do I agree with that? No. But that's what they're saying. So you want to talk about emasculation. People just saying stuff just to be saying stuff. People just saying stuff just to get attention. Like, people aren't really thinking and weighing things out. And it's just so depressing for me. And it's just so disheartening for me. And it's just so disheartening for me to see so many people that look like me spewing out so much ignorance. The internet done messed everything up. Because now we getting to see just how idiotic the world is. Just how many sheep we got. Sheep everywhere. You in your 50s and 60s and you blogging about other people's business. Girl, what's wrong with your life? And some of y'all wouldn't have no, like, and the only reason why half of y'all are anything is because you have secrets. Like, if we was to expose one or two of your secrets, you would run out in traffic and kill yourself. Yet and still, you got the room to judge Will and Jada for being courageous enough to share their truth with us and to try to elevate us as a people and to teach us how to share, to teach us how not to be weak like that, to teach us how not to be so vulnerable, to teach us how to have the confidence to share our narratives and not be ashamed of our whole being. To not so that our trauma and so that those things that we haven't worked on, those things that we shoved in the back of the closet and tried to pretend like they don't exist, they can be used against us when mad they come. Will and Jada are human, so they're not going to get everything right for everybody. My grandmother used to say you could please some of the people all of the time and all of the people some of the time, but you ain't going to please everybody all of the time. But what disgusts me is you people who cannot critical think for yourself. You hear what other platforms say, who are basically just here for $1, just trying to make a check, and they just spewing any type of dogma, rhetoric, and ideology just to go along with mainstream so that mainstream can push them through the algorithm. Because if you're seeing something that don't go along with what massa want to hear, you're not going to make it through that algorithm. You're not going to make it through that algorithm. Hey, Sanaya, you're not going to make it through that algorithm. They're going to keep you pushed down, pressed down, and pushed to the back of the bus like Rosa Parks, like they do me. I don't even try to get through the algorithm. I know I ain't getting through the algorithm. I'm not here to get through the algorithm. I'm here to heal. I'm here for the healing. So, you know, I'm about to delete my Facebook for a little while. When I come back on here, I don't want to talk about the Will Smith and the Jada thing no more, but I do want to send them my prayers. I do, I don't know what they're being used for right now, but I just pray that he's strong enough to withstand this. I pray that they're strong enough to withstand this. Yeah. I just pray that they're strong enough to withstand this, because his narrative has been so healing for me. Because as a deeply melanated Black Indigenous sex change, I've always felt inferior, and for a while I felt like it was something wrong with me, and the reason why I was the way I was because I didn't have a full-time daddy in the home around me all the time. But child, Will worth $350 million, and he messed up. So many people is messed up, honey, with their had daddies in their home. So I'm thankful for his narrative. I'm thankful for him having the courage to be who he is. I'm thankful for him having the courage to lay it on the line. I'm thankful for him having the courage to say what he said. I'm thankful for him having the courage to raise his children differently. I'm thankful for him being able to humble himself and to accept his wife being human, and his wife not being able to continue to be that picture of a Black queen that we thought she was supposed to be. I'm thankful for him supporting her and being just a little bit more human. I'm thankful for that. I may not always get it. I may not always understand it, because I am not looking at the world through their eyes. I don't have their type of resources. I haven't been where they've been. I haven't seen what they've seen. I haven't played the roles that they've played. I haven't had a lot of the experiences that I have. But I'm thankful that they're willing to be vulnerable and share as much as they share, even when I don't get it, even when I don't understand it. And I am not so foolish and ignorant enough to believe that they some type of robots. What Will did on that stage let us know it might be a lot of clones in Hollywood. But we know Will ain't one. It might be some clones out there, but Will ain't no damn clone. We know that was the real Will. The real Will. Somebody said, will the real Will stand up? Well, he did. Somebody said, will the real Will Smith stand up? And that's what he did. So, whew. I light this candle to acknowledge all of the ancestors who are living in this world, who are living and learning and having experiences. I'm thankful. I'm just thankful, even when I don't understand it, even when I don't have all of the pieces, even when everything don't make sense to me. I'm thankful to witness, to learn, to share. This should have showed you who really love you and who support you. The people who have given up on you and tossed you to the side, it wasn't never really for you anyway. It takes for the chicken to hit the grease, for it to get hard and rough, for you to realize who really there for you. And so maybe you needed to make this mistake so you could really take a personal inventory of the people that you have around you. As above, so below, as within, so without. When big stars go to falling, it won't be long before day. It keeps spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God goddess. And if I am, you know you are. I love you.